everyone and welcome to Momentum for Life. Today I've got Brooke with me, one of our awesome trainers, and we're going to go through some exercises and techniques to help you get you working your butt better. So we had a lot of people come along last week who were yogis and runners, and they were talking to us later about how they get hip pain or they can't activate their glutes properly. So this one's especially for you. So if you want a really nice butt for summer, you want a really strong butt, be able to deadlift really well, squat really well, then you should implement some of these things. So when you're getting a lot of pain down the side of your legs, as a lot of runners do, or when you're in yoga and you're doing your one-legged stance, you're not able to activate the glute properly, but you feel like the side of your legs gripping, we're going to release all that first. So we're just going to grab a ball. Here it is. We haven't got our props right. So we just start. Brooke's just going to start with a ball on the side of her hip. So she's just going to look for a sore spot, and it's going to be different for each person. She's just going to find a sore spot and breathe through it and just sit there and wait for it to ease off a little bit. The more you breathe, the easier the muscle will release. Now, the bigger the surface area of the object, so if she was to use a foam roller, it would be a little bit less intense. And then the smaller the surface area, so if you're using a lacrosse ball or a golf ball, the more intense it would be. So just going to find a sore spot, wait for it to release. Just a bit sore.
Not so much release. Oh, sore spot.
Okay, and then we're going to go into the ITB, so the iliotibial band up the side of the leg. So we always start at the knee, and then we roll up towards the hip, so we're aiding the lymphatic system to help get the toxins out of the body. So you don't want to want to go back down, you just want to lift yourself up and come back to the knee and then roll up to the hip. So doing that lateral leg there. So do 3 times on each side. Now sometimes Brooke might want to roll forward to get to more of the front of the leg, or then she might want to turn herself backwards and get to more of the back of the leg. You need to find where the sore spots are for you, they're different for everyone. So that's how release works. So that's going to help switch off all that fascia and the muscle around the side of the hip so that we can get the glutes working properly. So we're going to go into an X-band walk. So you're going to make sure, this is a great Brett Contreras exercise, I have to contribute it to him. So we're going to make sure that our feet are hip width apart and that there's an arch in between Brooke's feet. So she's going to separate the floor between her feet, and she's going to hold onto the band really tightly, so she's got her lats on and her shoulders on. All this is really strong up here, okay, so the whole body's active. And she's just going to take a step to the side, bring the other feet in. So we notice that she always steps hip width and wider, so she never comes narrower than that. She also stays really still through here, so she's not rocking from side to side. So she's really got to ground down through her feet, switch on her core, and use her glutes to stabilise so she doesn't rock from side to side. How's your glutes feeling, Brooke?
Pretty good, switched on.
How do they feel different to on the left side than the right side, given that we released that left side?
Well, my left side's my problem side,
yeah.
So it's a bit weak. It comes on pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay, cool. So that's good. First one. So normally you do like a length of the studio. You want to do that for about 70 seconds, up and back. We're going to go into some glute bridges. So same again, we're going to get Brooke to separate the floor between her feet, and that's a really important thing to remember when you're deadlifting and squatting. It helps you switch on all the glutes, helps you get your knees out, helps you get the arch in your feet. So always remember that before you deadlift and squat. So as Brooke inhales, she's going to come up to the ceiling with her hips, and then as she exhales, she's going to go down. Now, if your glutes really are weak and you have trouble activating, this is probably enough for you. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, and especially if you're going to go and lift really heavy weight, you really want to get them switched on. I'm going to get Brooke to do really quickly 10 hip thrusts. Going up, down, good. And then once she's done her 10, she's going to come up to the top and hold for 10. And it's good to imagine that she's, without moving her knees out, she's pushing them out and pulling that floor apart. So she's going to hold at the top.
I think that was 11.
That was 11. She's going to hold for 10 seconds. So when she's holding up here, she's making sure her belly button's nice and flat, so her corset's drawn in. Because Brooke eats a good diet, she's able to do that. Just going to keep our pelvis tucked under a little bit. It's really got to go. Sometimes you need to give yourself a bit of a squeeze just to make sure those glutes are working, because sometimes they get a bit sleepy from sitting on them all day. And then just going to repeat that 4 more times, so 4 sets of 10 pulses and then 10-second holds. So we were also talking about running being a one-legged sport, and we find that a lot of people who run are not very good at balancing on one leg. So you need to be able to do that to be able to run really well. So a progression from this would be to do it with one leg. So Brooke's got one leg up to the ceiling. He's going to come up and hold on that one leg. So what you want to be really careful is that your hips are level. So you're controlling it from the pelvis, and you're still having the foot, the knee and the hip in alignment that way. And she's still pulling the carpet apart, so she's still got that arch in her foot. And that's really getting the glute active. Cool. So if you're having trouble getting your butt working, you don't feel your butt when you're squatting or deadlifting, then give this a go. Give us some feedback. Let us know how you go. Other things can shut down your glutes, like not having good pelvic floor control, some intravenous contraceptive coils can inhibit glutes as well, poor diet, all that sort of stuff. So if you do this and you're still not feeling your glutes, come and see us, come and have a session with Brooke and get a nice hot bum for summer. Thanks guys.